You might think the hardest part of surgery is the procedure itself, but for those of us over 70, the real challenge often begins long before the first incision. Did you know that after 70, your body processes anesthesia differently? That healing takes longer, stress hits harder, and even routine surgeries can turn into uphill battles, not because of the operation, but because of how your body responds? The truth is, most seniors aren't given the full story. We're told to trust the process, sign the consent forms, and just rest after surgery. But what if I told you that the people who recover faster, feel stronger, and walk out of the hospital with dignity and confidence all have one thing in common? They prepared. Not just physically, but mentally. Not just for the surgery, but for the recovery too. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 essential things you must know before surgery after 70. Secrets that could mean the difference between a slow, confusing recovery and one that feels clear, supported, and empowering. If you're watching this, I want you to know, you are not powerless. You're a partner in your healing. So stay with me to the end. And don't forget to subscribe to Life in Words so you never miss life-changing advice made just for you. Let's dive in. Secret 1. Your body responds to anesthesia very differently. After 70, when most people think about surgery, they picture the scalpel, the stitches, the hospital room. But what truly sets the tone for your recovery often happens long before the procedure even begins, when the anesthesia kicks in. After 70, your body doesn't handle anesthesia the same way it did at 40 or even 60. In fact, the older brain becomes more sensitive to sedatives, and the effects can linger far longer than expected. For many seniors, this can lead to a temporary condition known as post-operative delirium, a foggy, confused state that may last hours or even days. You might feel disoriented, overly tired, emotional, or even agitated. This isn't a sign that something went wrong. It's your brain asking for a little more time and care to find its balance again. That's why it's absolutely essential to talk with your anesthesiologist before surgery. Don't assume they've reviewed your age and medical history in depth. Ask questions like, will I receive general or local anesthesia? How long will the effects last? Are there safer alternatives given my age? Take Gerald, for example, a 78-year-old preparing for a routine hip replacement. In a meeting with his care team, he asked if a spinal block could be used instead of general anesthesia. It turned out to be a game changer. He woke up clear-headed, joking with nurses, and even asking for lunch just an hour later. You have the right to know your options and your history, especially if you've had a rough time with anesthesia before, should always be shared. Because at this stage of life, how you wake up matters just as much as how you go under. And the sooner you're alert, steady, and thinking clearly, the sooner your healing truly begins. Secret 2. How pre-surgery preparation shapes your recovery. When most people think about surgery, they focus on the day itself, what time to arrive, who's driving them home, what to pack. But here's the truth. The 2-3 weeks before your surgery can have a bigger impact on your recovery than the procedure itself. This short window is your body's training ground. The stronger and more balanced you are going in, the smoother your healing will be coming out. Let's start with nutrition. As we age, our muscle mass naturally declines. That makes healing slower and increases the risk of weakness or even falls after surgery. But increasing your protein intake before surgery through eggs, fish, beans, or a daily protein shake can help your tissues repair faster, support your immune system, and keep your strength up during recovery. Next is sleep. Many seniors struggle with restless nights, but in the days leading up to surgery, deep, consistent sleep becomes crucial. Try setting a regular bedtime, turning off screens in the evening, and staying active during the day. A well-rested body heals faster. It's that simple. And don't overlook movement. Even light activity like 10-minute daily walks or stretching can improve your circulation, boost lung capacity, and help prevent complications like blood clots or pneumonia. This is what hospitals now call prehab, preparing your body before it goes through something hard. Take Helen, 76. She was scheduled for abdominal surgery and followed a basic plan her doctor gave her. 15 minutes of walking a day, breathing exercises, and high-protein meals. After surgery, nurses were amazed. She was up on her feet quickly, needed less pain medication, and felt more in control. As Helen said, "I treated it like training, and it worked." One last tip: hydrate. Unless your doctor tells you otherwise, drinking enough water keeps your tissues healthy, reduces nausea, and helps your kidneys clear the anesthesia. Preparation isn't just paperwork. It's a head start on healing. Because when your body feels strong, your recovery feels easier, and that confidence goes a long way. Secret 3. The medications and supplements you take matter more than you think. At age 70 and beyond, most of us have a few prescription bottles lined up by the bathroom sink. Maybe something for blood pressure, cholesterol, arthritis, or sleep. Add in a few over-the-counter painkillers, a multivitamin, and that turmeric supplement your friend swears by, and suddenly you're running your own little pharmacy. Here's the thing: many of these medications and supplements can interfere with your surgery and your recovery without you even realizing it. Take blood thinners like aspirin or ibuprofen. Even though they seem harmless, they can increase bleeding during surgery. Natural remedies like garlic, ginseng, ginkgo biloba, or St. John's wort may sound safe, but they can cause similar risks or disrupt how anesthesia works. Even fish oil can affect clotting. And that's why, the moment your surgery is scheduled, it's time to gather a complete list of everything you take: prescriptions, vitamins, powders, drops, patches, even herbal teas. Don't wait for someone to ask. Bring your list to your doctor or anesthesiologist and say, "Here's what I take daily. Should I stop or change anything before surgery?" Frank, 81, learned this the easy way. He'd been taking turmeric capsules for joint pain, thinking it was just a spice. But when he mentioned it to his care team before shoulder surgery, they advised him to stop it 2 weeks prior. That small adjustment helped reduce his bleeding risk and gave him a much smoother recovery. The safest surgeries happen when doctors know the full picture, and that picture includes every little thing you put in your body. If you're still watching, I'd love to hear from you. Comment 3 below if you've ever taken a supplement and didn't realize it could affect your health in this way. Your experience might just help someone else reading the comments today. Secret 4. The hospital. Stay and recovery may be harder than expected, so plan for support. No one really prepares you for how disorienting a hospital stay can feel, especially after the age of 70. The bright lights, the constant beeping, the nurses changing shifts, and being woken at 3 a.m. for blood pressure checks. It's a world completely outside your control. And when you're fresh out of surgery, still trying to find your balance, that loss of control can be overwhelming. What surprises many older adults is not the pain. It's how basic tasks become suddenly exhausting. Getting out of bed, walking to the bathroom, fixing a small meal. Tasks you've done 1,000 times can feel like climbing a hill with weights on your back. And this is where support makes all the difference. The seniors who recover best after surgery, they don't just rely on hope. They plan ahead. They arrange for a loved one to stay a few nights. They prepare meals ahead of time, stock their fridge, clear walkways, move rugs, and set up a chair in the shower. They even ask neighbors to check in or hire short-term help, not because they're weak, but because they're wise enough to know healing requires energy. And energy runs low after surgery. And let's not forget the emotional side. Many seniors report feeling unexpectedly vulnerable or even weepy after coming home. That's normal. Surgery is a physical event, but recovery is deeply emotional. Sometimes, what you need most isn't a nurse or a painkiller. It's someone sitting quietly beside you with a warm cup of tea. Take Carol to 4, fiercely independent. After a tough first night alone post-surgery, she asked her daughter to stay over. Not for chores, just for company. And that made all the difference. So, before you head into surgery, build your support system like your recovery depends on it. Because it does. Secret 5. Your mindset. Before surgery affects how your body heals. We often think of surgery as a physical event, something that happens to our bodies, not our minds. But here's the truth. Your mindset before surgery can dramatically influence how well you recover. And no, this isn't just about staying positive. It's about preparing your mind with the same care and attention you give your medications or your hospital bag. Research shows that seniors who enter surgery feeling calm, clear, and emotionally grounded often experience fewer complications, shorter hospital stays, and less pain afterward. On the other hand, when you carry stress, fear, or confusion into the operating room, your body feels that tension, and it can slow everything down. So, what can you do? Start with something simple. Each night before surgery, take a few quiet minutes to visualize your recovery. Picture yourself waking up calmly, breathing easily, taking your first steps, and enjoying your first meal. Or write down small personal goals. By day 3, I want to walk to the mailbox. By day 4, I want to eat breakfast sitting at the table. These little goals keep your mind anchored, even when your body feels wobbly. And here's something powerful. Don't be afraid to name your fears out loud. Say, I'm scared I won't bounce back, or I'm worried about the anesthesia. Telling someone, your doctor, a friend, even yourself in a journal, helps you process those emotions and stop them from controlling you. Howard, 80, did just that. Before heart surgery, he started journaling his thoughts every morning. Afterward, he said, "My body needed time to heal, but my mind already knew the path." Meditation, prayer, breathing exercises, stillness, all of these help shift your nervous system from stress mode into healing mode. Because healing isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and deeply human. If this resonates with you, I'd love to know, what's one thing you're doing to mentally prepare for surgery? Share it in the comments below. You might inspire someone else walking the same path. Final thoughts. You're not powerless. You're a partner in your own healing. If you've made it this far, take a moment to acknowledge yourself. Because simply being here, seeking knowledge, means you're doing one of the most powerful things a person can do before surgery. Taking ownership of your health. At 70, 75, or even 85, the world may treat you like you're fragile. But here's what I see: strength, wisdom, and the quiet kind of courage that comes from a life well lived. Yes, surgery is serious, and yes, your body might take a little longer to bounce back. But you are not at the mercy of fate. You have tools, you have choices, and you have the ability to shape what comes next. Whether it's asking your anesthesiologist the right questions, eating a little more protein each day, double-checking your medication list, setting up support at home, or simply calming your mind before surgery, you are actively building a smoother, safer recovery. You're not just surviving this, you're preparing to thrive on the other side of it. So take a breath, write down your questions, reach out for help, and walk into that hospital room with your shoulders back and your heart steady, because you are not doing this alone. We're here with you, every step of the way. If this video gave you clarity or peace of mind, please consider subscribing to Life in Words and turning on the bell. It helps us keep creating videos that support and empower seniors like you. And if you're still watching, leave a comment below and share. What's one thing from this video you plan to put into practice? Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today.